Hello and welcome to An Idol Called Food. I'm your host, JT Tapias, and in today's episode, we're going to be answering some theological questions around food, proper nutrition. Is it for Christians? Before we go there, I'd love to speak with you about EYBPlanFuel.com, supplements that make a significant difference in how you show up on a day-to-day basis. Go to EYBPlanFuel.com, pick up your supplements, and get your journey started. All right, so this is a question that comes up all the time. JT, is God really interested in the way I eat? Have you ever wondered if the Bible justifies our relationship with food, separating it from what truly defiles a person? In the verses that I'm going to share with you, these are verses that I often hear Christians using to make this distinction. In other words, kind of their excuse around why they believe this is not interesting to God. My question to you is, do you think we have developed a theological framework for food as part of stewardship? Up until this time, I have not seen that framework. I'm on a mission to hopefully bring a little bit of clarity around that theological framework of food, because I truly believe that this lack of understanding frequently gets Christians in trouble. Join me as I share some of the scriptures and break down each verse in sort of an expository way. For the sake of time, I can't really break down every single verse, but I want to give you some context around these verses. The Bible verses that I'm about to share with you are some of the verses that Christians use to justify why food is separate from other things that defile a person. The truth is that we don't have that theological framework just yet to think about food in terms of our temple and stewardship and all those good things. This often gets us in trouble, and so please listen as I go through this particular verse and try to pay attention really to what the verse is saying. Okay, so here we go. Before I go there, I also want to break it down and explain the verses to make an argument for holiness in all ways, okay? This is what we're called. We're called to be separate. And so Mark 7, chapter 14 through 23 says this, "And he called the people to him again and said to them, 'Hear me, all of you, and understand. There is nothing outside a person that by going into him can defile him. But the things that come out of a person are what defile him.' And when he entered the house and left the people, his disciples asked him about the parable. And he said to them, 'Then are you also without understanding? Do you not see that whatever goes into a person cannot defile him, since it enters not to his heart, but to his stomach, and it is expelled? Thus he declared, all foods are clean.' In verse 20 he says this, and he said, 'What comes out of a person is what defiles him. For from within and out of the heart of man come evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, coveting, wickedness, deceit, sensuality, envy, slander, pride, foolishness. All of these things come from within, and they defile a person.'" Guys, in these 10 verses, Jesus is teaching that what you eat physically doesn't make you spiritually impure. The things you eat or external rituals you perform can affect your inner self or morals. When Jesus declared all foods clean, he was showing that it's not about what you eat or how you perform ceremonies. It's about what is in your heart and how you live your life. I mean, this is pretty common sense, right? But I think it's important for us to go through these. He's saying that his actions, that your actions, Jesus' actions, like overturning the tradition of hand washing, symbolized the following strict dietary laws, wasn't the key to spiritual purity. It was all about beliefs and actions. It's easy to read these verses and justify separating food from our spiritual walk. However, if you read through First Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 3 to 8 specifically. I had to take a second there to remember the verses. So it's 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 3 to 8. You'll see that God's will is for our sanctification, and it involves being radically different from the world. This is what being sanctified is, being called and separated apart from the world. This also includes what we eat and how we steward our bodies. Although no ritual, ceremony, or diet can make us spiritually clean, there is a tremendous impact when we seek to glorify God in all aspects of life, including our lifestyle and food choices. I've seen Christians come into our program and radically change the way they approach their relationship with God by embracing discipline and self-control. These things impact every single aspect of our lives. My invitation to you is to take inventory of these things and ask yourself this very hard question, but I think it's a powerful one. When it comes to food, does my lifestyle and the way I handle food look different from the world? I hope you've enjoyed this episode. My name is JT Tapias with An Idle Called Food, and I'm leaving you with some reflections here. I hope you've enjoyed it. More importantly, I hope you put some of these things to action and that it brings convictions to your heart that move you in the right direction. I'll talk to you guys soon. Ciao, ciao.